Hey, welcome back to Mrs. B Reads. We are working on R.J. Palaccio's Wonder, and this is in part 6, Augie's Voice. It's the chapter called The Auggie Doll, page 208. For a while, the war was all we talked about. February was when it was really at its worst. That's when practically nobody was talking to us, and Julian had started leaving notes in our lockers. The notes to Jack were stupid, like, "You stink, Big Cheese," and "Nobody likes you anymore." I got notes like, "Freak," and another that said, "Get out of our school, orc." If you don't know what an orc is, go look it up. It's not a very kind thing to call somebody. Summer thought we should report the notes to to Ms. Rubin, who was the middle school dean, which is like a principal, or even Mr. Tushman, but we thought that would be like snitching. Anyway, it's not like we didn't leave notes too, though ours weren't really mean. They were kind of funny and sarcastic. One was, "You're so pretty, Julian. I love you. Will you marry me? Love, Beulah." Another was, "Love your hair. XOX, Beulah." Another was, "You're a babe. Tickle my feet. XO, Beulah." Beulah was a made-up person that me and Jack came up with. She had really gross habits, like eating the green stuff in between her toes and sucking on her knuckles. Oh, God. And we figured someone like that would have a real crush on Julian, who looked and acted like someone in a Kids Bop commercial. There were also a couple of times in February when Julian, Miles, and Henry played tricks on Jack. They didn't play tricks on me, I think, because they knew that if they got caught bullying me, it would be big-time trouble for them. Jack, they figured, was an easier target. So one time they stole his gym shorts and played monkey in the middle with them in the locker room. Oh, when I was a kid, I hated monkey in the middle. Oh, I was short. I could never get it. Another time, Miles, who sat next to Jack in homeroom, swiped Jack's worksheet off his desk, crumpled it in a ball, and tossed it to Julian across the room. This wouldn't have happened if Miss Petosa had been there, of course, but there was a substitute teacher that day, and subs never really know what's going on. Listen, promise me you'll be nice to your substitute teachers, okay? It's hard to be a substitute teacher. Jack was good about this stuff. He never let them see he was upset, though I think sometimes he was. The other kids in the grade knew about the war, except for Savannah's group. The girls were neutral at first, but by March, they were getting sick of it. And so were some of the boys. Like another time when Julian was dumping some pencil sharpener shavings into Jack's backpack out of Julian's hands, Like another time when Julian was dumping some pencil sharpener shavings into Jack's backpack, Amos, who was usually tight with them, grabbed the backpack out of Julian's hands and returned it to Jack. That's a very long sentence. It was starting to feel like the majority of boys weren't buying into Julian anymore. What does that mean, buying into him? That's an interesting way to phrase it, right? Then a few weeks ago, Julian started spreading this ridiculous rumor that Jack had hired some hitman to get him and Miles and Henry. Do you guys know what that's referring to? Do you know? Okay, listen, if you don't know, I want you to backtrack. I want you to go to page 196 and read that chapter called The Bus Stop. You'll figure it out pretty soon. This lie was so pathetic that people were actually laughing about him behind his back. At that point, any boys who had still been on his side now jumped ship and were clearly neutral. So by the end of March, only Miles and Henry were on Julian's side. And I think even they were getting tired of the war by then. I'm pretty sure everyone stopped playing the play game behind my back, too. No one really cringes if I bump into them anymore, and people borrow my pencils without acting like the pencil has cooties. People even joke around with me now sometimes. Like the other day, I saw Maya writing a note to Ellie on a piece of Ugly Doll stationery. Do you know what the Ugly Dolls are? They were big a few years back. Go look them up if you don't. And I don't know why, but I just kind of randomly said, "Did you know the guy who created the Ugly Dolls based them on me?" Maya looked at me with her eyes wide open like she totally believed me. Then when she realized I was only kidding, she thought it was the funniest thing in the world. "You are so funny, August," she said. And then she told Ellie and some of the other girls what I had just said, and they all thought it was funny too. Like at first they were shocked, but then when they saw I was laughing about it, they knew it was okay to laugh about it too. And the next day, I found a little Ugly Doll keychain sitting on my chair with a nice little note from Maya that said, "For the nicest Auggie doll in the world, XO Maya." 6 months ago, stuff like that would never have happened, but now it happens more and more. Also, people have been really nice about the hearing aids I started wearing. And doesn't that just make you think, what hearing aids? And that's how the author transitions us into this next chapter. It's a really great writing trick right there. If you're writing a story and you've got chapters, you might want to leave your readers with a thought, with a question in their minds at the end of each chapter. You know who else does that? J.K. Rowling with Harry Potter. If you don't believe me, go check it out. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks, you guys.